Hey, what's up?
Hey, dude, what's going on?
Not much, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. So I'm not good about updating my phone, man.
It's all good. Honestly, that was still the least amount of technical difficulties we've had on this show. As far
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is.
I do, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rick Chat. We got Beau from Malignant Altar here. Anybody who doesn't already follow them on social media and whatnot or own their album, you can get on it. And trying to get my shameless self-promotion out of the way. We also got a YouTube channel and we got a merch store for those that haven't checked that out yet. All right, now that that's out of the way.
Hell yeah.
What's going on, man? How's your weekend going?
Pretty good, man. I'm pretty hungover right now, so I'm a little bit out of it. That's why, but I had a good time last night. So.
That's good. I'm reeling from working night shift last night, so
yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah,
feeling equally shitty, but for less fun reasons.
Yeah, I feel that.
Well, hell yeah, dude. All right, let's dive right into it, man. What's your live rig looking like for future Malignant show?
I mean, I've been using the same rig, man, for fucking almost 20 years. I just use a Mesa Boogie, like a triple rectifier, into a Mesa Boogie cabinet. And sometimes I'll use a 5150 if that's,
Sure.
easy. But mainly, I mean, I've been using Mesa Boogies, man, my entire life pretty much. I've owned other amps, but those original 2-channel Mesas, that's the sound I just like, I don't need a pedal. I just plug into it and go. And I just use I usually use an Ibanez Universe Live, but they're getting so expensive and rare that, like, I kind of have retired it to home and local use. But for gigs, we fly out. I use like an old Ibanez 7620 from the 90s.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like the poor man's Universe. It's Japanese. It's good though.
Oh yeah, dude, those things are legit.
Yeah, they rule. I sanded the back of the neck of it, so it's kind of like a Universe neck. It's like raw.
Oh,
so
wow.
like I like the gloss is too slippery for me, I sweat too much.
Yeah. I got a couple guitars that have the glossy neck, but they're stay-at-home guitars. Like, I have no intention of ever taking those out.
For sure, yeah.
But
I just find, like, man, like, as soon as I tried a bare neck, I just never could go back, man. It was just like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. It's that natural feel. You can feel the grain, when you're playing. It's cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's kind of the go-to shredder kind of vibe,
For sure, yeah.
I actually I had a 2-channel dual rectifier for like the last decade.
Oh yeah.
Finally, I don't know why. I just kind of wanted to change things up and finally parted ways with it after many years of service.
What do you use now?
I got a Kemper because I'm.
Oh, cool. Yeah. My friend has one of those.
I'm mainly just playing at home and writing stuff here at home and into my computer, so it's just kind of easier. But honestly, I got a profile of a 2-channel, like a Rev F.
Yeah.
And I, set up with all my custom pedals and stuff running into it and just tried to replicate my old setup as close as possible. And I'm like, oh my God, it sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, my buddy has one. He has like a wall of amplifiers. So he went and made the profiles for his amps. And dude, shit sounds just like his fucking amp. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how they do it, but it's fucking insanely cool.
Oh yeah, it's some strange voodoo for sure.
Yeah, I don't. That's like crazy technology, man. That's like way beyond my understanding of how all that shit works. But it's cool.
Oh yeah, I think it's got to be kind of at least a similar concept to like. You ever see like for really, really high end like home stereo systems or in like studios like monitors and shit? Well, they'll have microphones that can kind of like ping your room.
Yeah.
They'll like tailor your speakers to EQ.
Yes.
It's got to be something along those lines.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. Like, what's next? Like, what will be the next thing they come up with? Like,
I can't imagine much else. Maybe refining more, but
yeah.
I imagine with the whole, I don't know. We'll talk about the whole tube thing, I guess. But
Sure, yeah.
which now I guess there's tariffs. It's not a straight up ban. It's just they're doing heavier tariffs. So I guess it's not. I guess they're not banned, but they're going to be a premium
For tubes?
Yeah, for the foreseeable
Whoa,
future.
I haven't heard this, man. This is like news. I'm breaking news to me right now. Like,
Oh
kind
yeah.
of shit in my pants. So you can't get power tubes no more, or what? Like, it's gonna be hard to get power tubes.
Well, so there's only like 3 factories, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest of which is in Russia. So with
Oh,
everything going
fuck,
on,
man. Yeah, that makes complete sense.
yeah. But
Man,
I guess
wow.
now they're implementing. It went from Electro Harmonics put out a thing like, "Hey, no more tubes the rest of the year. Like that's it. We don't have any. It's like this big tube shortage, and the other factories were already producing at maximum capacity. So there was like, I mean, you can get JJ, which is what I always used anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like most people just use Chinese a lot of times anyway.
Yeah.
And I want to say a lot of the Mesa tubes and a lot of the brand names are just Chinese tubes rebranded.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even at that, I don't know how bad it'll actually be. But
Man,
I was gonna say, my bad. I was gonna say, I think the consensus is just going to be like, well, I mean, it's not the end of the world or end of tube amps, but worst case scenario, you're going to have to probably pay a premium for the foreseeable future.
Man, I kind of went nuts on eBay like a couple years ago, and like some guy had a bunch of new old stock Mesa tubes from the '90s, like the same ones they put in the Mesa that I got. So I bought like fucking 4 sets of them. So I'm sitting on tubes for quite a while, man. So I guess I'm glad I did that shit now. I mean, it was like pays off in the long run, I guess. But
yeah,
it was just cheap. At the time, it was like 6 tubes for like $30. I couldn't fucking believe it. They're like old stock NOS Mesa tubes in the box and everything with rating. I mean, it's like I don't know what his deal was with them. I just kept buying them. Like it's like if I had extra $30, I'd pick up a set.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing like the last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years or so. I was going through like Euro tubes because how they'll like hand match voltage for you. I was doing that and because they're all JJ. I was doing that and just specifically asking for like the coldest voltage that they can give me, like 40 to 42.
Yeah.
And just going off of that, and I don't think I ever once bought Mesa branded tubes. For that.
Man, they sound different, man. Like they don't like I use JJs too and other stuff. I'm a fan of JJs and Softex are cool too. But yeah, the Mesas are kind of weird. It's like I think how the amp is intended to sound. Like I don't think they sound good in other amps. I put them in another amp. I put them in a Marshall clone I have. It didn't sound so hot. But
probably just because they're so cold.
Yeah, they have a weird sound, but it works in my amp. It worked perfect. Like it's like oh shit, it's that low end, thick as shit. And like it's got good bites. So maybe they were designed for that. I don't know, man. But
oh yeah, like Mesa, EVH, PV, a lot of like our go-to 2 or 3 channel. So
fucking nerd.
Absolutely.
Oh, the tube. Oh, yeah.
But like, all those amps are, especially the ones that have like the fixed bias and all that. Like, they're made to be run so cold. And it's supposed to get longer tube life out of them that way too. Of course, I use my Mesa like constantly, like almost like a practice.
Yeah, and burn them up. Yeah. I pretty much want to use mine for shows at our practice space. We have a 1992. It's a Revision F, I think. Yeah. Dual rectifier. It's actually it's kind of our drummers, I guess, essentially. But we just use that. I think that thing sounds like godly, man. Like that's the best sounding one. But so I just put the wear on his tubes.
I didn't know what exact year mine was. I knew by the serial number it was a Rev F. But it wasn't one of the blackface ones.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a late Rev F. I don't know. Something.
Yeah. Those do
But
sound different. They sound different, man. Like
yeah,
mine's a revision G from the late '90s. It sounds completely different. I like
yeah,
mine better, but that one just sounds magical by itself. It's just really, really good.
sure. I had tons of buddies that had, the early 2000s 3-channel, and
Yeah,
it doesn't even sound like the same amp.
completely different.
Yeah,
Because like I can see like why people don't like Mesas because that's how they very use. Plus, there's just too much shit to switch on those. You know, like
yeah,
you can be chasing the tone. You're at a gig. You don't have time to fuck with that. So the 2 channels like almost just like a Marshall. It's just pretty straightforward, man. It's just like the
yeah,
knobs. You know, that's what I like
exactly.
about it.
And all the little extra bells and whistles are set it and forget it.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah,
Somebody did ask, what tuning are you guys in, by the way?
we're in G sharp. I guess A flat if you
Okay.
want to go that way. But yeah, we like yeah we G sharp for since the beginning. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Um, what are you going stock pickups on your Ibanez guitars or?
In the universe, I have a Deactivator 7 from DiMarzio. It's like a passive EMG. It sounds fucking killer, man. It's the best fucking pickup. It has like so much bite, but it's got like that low end that a passive pickup has. It sounds like an EMG 85. If you ever played with
Oh,
those,
okay.
a little bit thicker sounding. So I
Yeah.
use that. I use those in the universes, and then like in my 7620, I have it's the guy from Meshuggah, like custom pickup. I just got it out of a trade. I don't even like Meshuggah, but I got the pickup out of this trade. I just need to put one into the guitar, and it actually sounds pretty fucking good, man. It's like it has like almost no mids. Like it's real scoop sounding, but man, it sounds thick as fuck, you know. So I like it. I guess I got a good idea for tone or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a DiMarzio guy mostly. Though. I like DiMarzios.
I I was EMG, then Duncan, and now I'm experimenting with DiMarzio's.
I just think I've tried a lot too. I worked in a guitar shop forever, so like I tried everything. And DiMarzios just have like for metal, I think just have a metal tone. You know, for me, for
Yeah.
what I like. You know.
I actually have a set of Titan 7s sitting right in
Oh,
front of.
cool. Yeah.
They're going to be going in. I gotta mail them out to Chad Pettit from Legion Guitars. Have you seen them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I ordered one of their 7-string nihilists.
Oh, really?
It's like dude, it's gonna be my first baritone too.
I,
Um,
I can get used to baritones, man. I tried. My hands aren't very
yeah,
big, so like it's tough for me to play that shit. But like,
yeah,
do you have big hands, man? Like,
they're pretty average.
yeah, I have pretty tiny hands. I'm not a tall dude or nothing. So like, yeah, baritones means it's so much, you know. It's hard. It's hard to handle.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
7-string baritone it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but I mean I'm gonna give it a shot.
I bet the intonation will be fucking sick on it, man.
Oh
It'll
yeah, it's got like carbon fiber reinforcements in the neck and
oh
everything,
shit.
or graphite. I can't
Mhm.
remember now. I have to pull it back up later, but and did what'd you say was in the 7620?
It's like this weird Meshuggah pickup.
A weird what pickup?
Meshuggah. That'd be a Meshuggah, I guess. Like that
Oh,
gent band.
like a
It's like
Lundgren?
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
A friend of mine traded me, like, I got that in a trade, and, like, I just had it sitting there forever. I was like, fuck, I'll put this in a guitar. And I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty fucking good, man. You know, it sounds cool.
I've heard those things are amazing, but for that much, I mean, they kind of have to be. They're kind of expensive.
So, yeah, I looked it up. I got the better end of the trade, I think, on that one, man. Like, I didn't realize they were so fucking expensive. That's, like, ridiculous, man.
Yeah, they're pricey, but everyone I know that's tried them absolutely loves them. I know even Keith Marrow. I think he's switching over to Lundgren now.
Really? Yeah. Well, for my money, I'm a DiMarzio guy, man. I always, like,
Sure.
main guitars always going to be DiMarzio. It's just like the way I go.
They just have a very like clean and articulate kind of thing going on with them, or at least the ones I've tried. But I've probably tried more of like the Path Pros and Tone Zones.
Oh, old school. Yeah, the old school ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Tone Zone. It's cool. But those are like lower output pickups, man. Like, you gotta dig in on those motherfuckers.
That's probably why they were so like articulate and
Yeah, for sure. The white universe I have has the original pickup, and it's almost like a Tone Zone. And Man, I think it's got serious bite. Like it's cool for like riffing, but man, I have to pick hard as fuck to get the gain to come out, you know?
Oh, sure.
Compared to like the deactivator, which is like so high output, you know?
I had a BC Rich Beast with that I put an X2N in it there
Mm-hmm.
for a little while. That thing was a trip.
Yeah, our other guitar player has a Warlock, like a 7th Street Warlock. It's mahogany, and he
Hmm.
has a X2N in it, and that guitar sounds perfect because it makes mahogany a little bit more bright. You know,
Yeah.
it's not so in your face. It kind of smooths it out a little bit.
It at least in the guitar that I had, it made the harmonics just kind of like just pop right off.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I understand why so many death metal guys like those. Like it's I don't know, Chuck and stuff. Like it's a pretty vicious sounding pickup. You know.
for sure. Do you run any kind of boost into your Mesa at all?
No, I plug straight in. I put the tuner on top of the amp. I like going straight from the pickup to the amp, like just a cable in between. It's like
Sure.
a more pure tone. But I tried using a boost, man. I don't think I really need one. You know, it takes a little. I know a lot of guys like it because it tightens the sound up, but then you lose all the fucking thump. Like when you palm beat, like we do a lot of like bassy palm beat stuff. Like it just sucks a little. And I have like the Maxon TDS9 Pro Plus, where it has actually a bass boost built
Yeah.
into it, and that does a pretty good job too. But I'm like, damn, it's just more shit to hook up and like carry in my case. I'm like, I like it simple and easy, you know.
Oh, for sure. I every once in a while with the Mesa, I would just like for the hell, just to keep me like I guess in line or remind me, I would
Mm-hmm.
just unplug my big crazy pedal board and just plug straight in. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why do I even mess with all the other stuff?
It gets complicated, man. I don't know. I mean, pedals are cool. I'm not knocking pedals. But for me, it's just like I've been doing this long enough. Like I just want this simple. Like when I fly out, I just want to carry a cable, my tuner, and my guitar. Essentially, you know. I don't want to like have to worry about hooking stuff up, and you
Sure.
know, I want to keep it simple. You know.
Yeah. Well, what kind of going to shifting into songwriting, I guess. What would you say would be like your all's biggest inspiration for riffing and writing?
I mean, for this band, when we started, it was Gateways from Annihilation. Gateways Annihilation from Morbid Angel, and that was probably our biggest one. But I mean, for me, like a lot of like Suffocation, like the first, like Pierce Within's a huge influence. Immolation, Failures for Gods is huge. Like that, I listen to that a lot. The first Pyrexia record, a lot of East Coast stuff, man. Like even though we don't sound like a slam band, I don't really think too much. But I listen to a lot of that, like '90s Northeast death metal. Like I really like that stuff. There's just something heavy, you know. Like all the refs are like chugging, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with like kind of has like a little bit of that hardcore vibe, which I guess like New York and stuff.
Yeah,
kind of makes sense.
Yeah, there's like they like a lot of, I try to avoid that kind of stuff. I'm not a hardcore guy, so I try to avoid anything. If we start working on something, I'm like, all right, I mean that's kind of crossing the line because it's easy writing that style. Like even with Suffocation stuff, you can be like, okay, man, this is getting like a little too hardcore. I don't really want that vibe. But some of those breaks are just heavy as fuck, though, too. You know, I think this is how it's presented sometimes. You know.
Oh yeah, I recently had Chris from Internal Bleeding on here, and we kind of got into that world a little bit. I always thought, I mean, around where I'm at, there's more of a hardcore scene than a metal scene.
Okay.
So I've always kind of enjoyed straddling the line there, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, I never really got into hardcore. I mean, there's a few I like Age of Quarrel from Cro-Mags. Like to me, that sounds like that sounds kind of like it's almost Celtic Frosty at points. But but I don't know like some guys will like talk about hardcore. I really don't know anything about that style of hardcore. I like some of the early '80s, like almost punk hardcore. Yeah. I like that shit a lot. Cause I have a lot of friends that grew up with like that stuff. But when it starts getting too like Judge and Hatebreed, it's just not for me. You know.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. It's just not for me. You know?
Definitely.
Damn, my friend T's here. T from Unholy Graves in the house, man. T Snyder 0930. That's T from Unholy Grave. That's my boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, who would you say kind of got you started playing?
Like influence?
Yeah.
I mean, I think like anybody, like probably like Metallica, like as a kid. I'm 40, so like you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, getting guitar, like it was like kind of a Metallica thing, and then Slayer. But then when I really kind of think, when I found what I wanted to do, I really kind of like, I want to start writing death metal. It was probably Bill Steer from Carcass. Like he's probably like my biggest influence, just because he wrote both Killer Shit for Napalm Death and Carcass, and it sounds different, but you can tell it's the same dude who wrote the riffs, but it doesn't sound like the same band. So I'm a huge fan of those early records of his. Like I'm a big fan of them. And then Terrence from Suffocation is a huge influence. I really like that guy. Like, when I heard that, I was like, dude, this guy can just write fucking insane riffs. They just like it's technical, but it doesn't sound stupid, you know?
That's kind of, I like the way you describe that too. But honestly, the general consensus on this show has been everybody we like technical. We just don't like. I won't say I don't like tech death because there's some fucking killer tech death bands out there.
Yeah.
But there is a very fine line between,
for me,
yeah, where you almost like lose the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I like technical stuff. I mean, actually, I've played some pretty shreddy stuff in my younger years, but sometimes like, I think now it's gotten to the point like people just keep pushing the envelope. It's just like, man, this isn't like music. It's just like an exercise. It sounds like you're just running like scales, you know, like in weird time signatures. But I will say this, man. Me and my singer were talking about the other night. Like that band Necrophagist or Phagus.
Oh yeah.
To me, that's like an example of technical death metal that's good. You know, like, like there's riffs. Like, dude wrote riffs. It's not just this is like an exercise. I think I like the neoclassical thing he does too. I think it kind of has a cool element to it. But like, I was like, if you can make the technical shit sound like a riff, then that's cool. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll even get in the mood for like Brain Drill or Beneath the Massacre and stuff too. But again, there's some like legit riffs in there too.
Yeah, I think this comes down to songwriting. You know, I think doesn't matter what kind of music it is or whatever. Like if the songwriting's there, generally it'll show. You know, it'll come to the top of everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Really. So, what kind of goals have you set for yourself personally, and then with the band, as far as this whole little journey that is Malignant Altar?
I mean, to be honest, when Wilson, the singer, and I started talking, we were just gonna do like a demo, and it wasn't really supposed to be like what it's become now, where we have full length out and shit. But I mean, I think with this band, like the dudes are all right. Like it's the right group of people, so I like playing with them. So I want to do more with the band. You know, like there's a magic I think in the band. Like we all get along and we all see things kind of the same way. So this has actually been a very easy band to be in. Just no conflicts. I mean, it's pretty chill. So I think the goal at this point, we record a new split, 12-inch split in 2 weeks. We go into the studio in 2 weeks to record a new splits. It's 2 songs. It's an original song and an imprecation cover. And then after that, we're gonna work on our second LP. I think we decided like let's write another LP. That was it was fun doing the first one. Let's do another one. You know.
Oh yeah. What cover did you say you were doing?
Imprecation. It's a Houston band. Like it's like one of the earliest Houston death metal bands. Like that's actual death metal. But the guitar player and drummer both passed away over the past year or two, and they were good friends of both my drummer and I. Both knew both those guys, you know, since like the late '90s. We knew those guys, so it's kind of a tribute to them, you know.
Awesome! I'll have to check them out. I don't know them.
Man, like they still put out. They're on Dark Descent Records too, but their new records are kick ass too. It sounds like Morbid Angel, but they have a compilation CD. It's like I can't remember. It's like Thurgo something. It's a 3. You'll see it. It's got Bathman on the cover, but it's a collection of their first EPs and demos, and that shit is like. I can't believe this is from Houston. It's so good. It's like I can't believe this is a Houston band. Yeah, it's from it's from the early '90s or so.
You'll have to
look into it. I recommend anybody who's listening to check it out. It's fucking kick ass.
Oh yeah, you'll have to message me the names.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Me and my wife are just constantly trying to find new stuff. She's actually probably better at it than I am.
Yeah, man, our singer's like super into finding. He like hears every demo because he sends like he knows what I'm into. I'm pretty selective, so he'll send me like you'll like this, and he'll send me a link. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck it, this is fucking sick, you know, like. But he like listens to like black metal, death metal. He follows it all, like pretty much black and death metal always, and doom, death doom and shit. Like, but he checks out like every fucking new band. Like he like keeps on top of it. It's pretty informative to me, you know.
Hell yeah.
I don't get on the internet too much. I'm on scouring the internet nonstop. You know, like that. I just fucking watch TV and play guitar.
Yeah, exactly. man, I love discovering new stuff, but so I found that there are different kinds of people there when it comes to trying to discover new music. There are people that are into like the shuffle playlist where they want a different song from a different artist. Like they just new. They want to keep it fresh and interesting for them.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I'm always one of those people where if I find a band or like I want to hear a specific album, maybe a couple albums from a specific band, and I want to spend at least like a week on a single album and really, dig into it.
I'm on that tip. That's what I do. I like to appreciate a record, like a whole record from start to finish. Yeah. So I think sometimes it's with single songs, it's easy to like not capture what the band's bigger picture is, you know? Or I think before you can see all the peaks and valleys, like, oh shit, they were really going for some shit, you know?
Oh yeah.
You know, but with a single song, sometimes still cool, but I like seeing the big picture. Just as a person who writes records, you know, like I like to go on that journey, you know.
And it's almost kind of like when you watch a movie for the first time versus, you know, whenever you rewatch it, you'll pick up on little minute details.
For sure.
Maybe a reoccurring theme or something like that you didn't pick up the first time.
Well, for me, it's like usually I first listen to shit on my stereo and you hear it in school, and then I put headphones on. That's when you hear you start hearing the other shit. You're like, oh fuck! When you put the headphones on, you're like, damn, I didn't even hear all this crazy bullshit going on in the background, you know. I'm the same way. Wilson Lawson often kind of fuck with me, which he's right. It's like I listen to only like the same handful of like 40 records, you know, because that's like I still check out new bands. There's actually some great new bands coming out. But it's when I'm really listening to shit, that's like the same stuff I've listened to forever, just because I've made that connection with those records. And like I said, I've listened to them so many times, I'm always looking for the new things in them, you know. So, but new shit rules too. There's a lot of killer fucking bands coming out right now. Sure. It's like non fucking stop, you know.
Yeah, which I'm a little bit younger. I'm 30, and you know, but I think we came up. You know, we were still buying like CDs or whatever. So, you know, it wasn't Spotify or whatever where you had the world literally right there. It was, you know, you went to FYE or wherever, local shop, and you just would. I mean, it was probably like, you know, guys back in the 80s or 70s where they would just try to find new records. Like, oh, this looks cool. And go home and check it out and then spend time with that because you actually had to go and spend $15-$20 or whatever.
Man, that's kind of the thing. Before the internet, man, you buy a record based kind of I would at least buy it off the cover. If I recognize the band name, you know, it's like I said, to be my allowance for the week when I was a teenager. I'd go buy a CD and like, man, I hope the CD's good because like I'm gonna have to jam the shit out because it's all I got.
Right.
And so like sometimes you get like a shitty record and I would almost start to like the shitty record, like, well fuck, I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna throw it in the trash, you know, like. So yeah, I think nowadays I don't like that. I think nowadays like everything's just so easily accessible. Like it kind of like this is not an original thoughts or anything, but like it just cheapens the experience because everything's so easy to hear. But back in the when I was younger in like the '90s, like if you wanted to hear a band's demo and you got it, I mean it was like fucking you had to find somebody like to make you a copy. It was like you really had to kind of work for it. Where now you just go on YouTube and hear it, which is great because you can hear so many things. But it's also like kind of miss that special feeling when you would find something cool.
I obviously I was a little too young for the tape trading thing, but mine was weird. Or like my early teens was kind of odd because it was like the beginning of like, you know, MySpace and Yahoo Music and like you had that very early internet. It still wasn't quite it wasn't what it is now. But, you know, like I discovered Mirkskog at, however you say that.
Yeah.
I discovered them at like 16 years old or something because of somebody's top 8 on MySpace or something. Yeah.
Man, like my previous band, Insect Warfare, came out as, I guess, the dawn of MySpace was beginning. And dude, I mean, I hate to admit it, but that shit helped us. I mean, like considerably because it was like actually a platform where you'd have your little player with your music on it and your friends' bands. And it was like, it's kind of silly thinking about it, but yeah, really, I mean, I know it helped us get to where we got to because it was the first real kind of network like that I think for music to be shared like that.
Oh yeah.
Outside of tape trading, whatever. So I don't knock it. I think it's cool, but it's also kind of cringy in some weird ways. This MySpace, you know.
It was silly. There was a lot of cringy, silly, early 2000s, cliche stuff. But for somebody like me who was at the time, I was like hungry for more and more music. I wanted to expand, and I would see bands that were friends with other bands, and people wearing shirts of different bands, and like, oh, I got to check them out. I got to find them out.
Yeah, the T-shirt. That's how I like. I go to a show and I see a guy wearing a fucking Napalm Death shirt. Just say that, I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'll go hunt that shit out. So that's how that's how it used to be. You could look for the shirts or the thanks list on the records. Like I'd open the CD book and I'm like, "Oh shit, who are all these bands?" And you go try to find that CD next or whatever tape. But yeah, that's crazy, man.
You would sometimes try to go off word of mouth of friends, but at least maybe at least where I was at, or the people I hung out with, I was always disappointed whenever like I would have friends. I've talked about this on the show before. I remember I had all these friends that, because they were all potheads, and they would talk about how awesome Grateful Dead or Floyd were, which Grateful Dead, I was like, oh, okay, that might be kind of cool. And then I check it out, I'm like, this is lame. This is what my dad listens to. It's like my dad at least listened to like Black Sabbath and stuff like that. But
yeah. My dad, like, I learned a lot from my dad's. Like, my dad had a pretty cool record collection. He wasn't like a deep collector, but I mean, like, he had all the Sabbath records up to Volume 4 and like Deep Purple, like. So I grew up listening to like old heavy metal like that because my dad listened to it. So that kind of like. So when I say about Metallica, when I got the guitar, like, it was not really that. It was like it was that kind of shit I was trying to learn how to play.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I just went heavy with it.
My dad had a pretty decent vinyl collection. It was all like classic rock and metal, and then like old school country.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Texas, so there was definitely that floating around my dad's collection too. A lot of southern rock and stuff. But I mean, I like some of that. So I mean, actually, some of those old southern rock bands, like it's kind of sometimes you can get kind of heavy, especially the harmonies and shit. I'm like, damn, this is actually pretty fucking cool. Like some of the old Alvin stuff, I'm like, it's kind of jammy, but man, those harmonies are sick. Like it definitely that like Thin Lizzy rubbed off on me as an early age. Like, we have a lot of harmonies in what we do, and it's because of that. It's not really Iron Maiden to me. It was like Thin Lizzy and Allman Brothers. Like my dad playing that shit, and I was like, man, what's going on? Like, why does guitar sound like that? And then I learned his harmonies, and yeah, I'm hugely influenced by that shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, even Molly Hatchet, like.
Yeah, that's your rules. I like Molly Hatchet. Yeah.
Like, some of the people on here are probably rolling their eyes, but honestly, if you check that shit out, there's some legit riffs in there for sure.
There's some riffs, man. I mean, I guess I don't know if I'm biased because I'm from Texas, but I mean, that's just the shit we listen to down here,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let me see here. I kind of got my little cheat sheet up here on the screen.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Is there any gear that you're kind of eyeing right now, like maybe more guitars to take out on the road with you, or
actually
things up?
What I really want to buy, but they're so expensive, man, but I'll get one day, is the brand Comparison.
Oh yeah.
My friend Marvin has a Comparison Horus, and I've tried it out and it's fucking sick. But there's no dealers in town, so I want to try the 7-string out. I don't know how big their fucking necks are, And I'm used to like the tiny Ibanez necks. So I'm a little bit afraid that if I bought one for $3,000, it has like a humongous Jackson neck.
Sure.
Like my hand won't be able to work with that. But his guitar, you can, like, when I picked up his guitar, you can just tell it's fucking nice. Like, it's very well made. It's very precision Japanese. Like, I love the headstock. So that'll probably be my next purchase. But that's like $3,000 fucking dollars too. Like,
wow.
Maybe I'll just buy another Universe. like
right.
Like I'm trying to buy all those up, man. Like, anytime I see one on the cheap, I want to get one.
Oh yeah, they're getting rare, more and more rare by the day. But
I mean, I've been playing Universes since like the early 2000s, man. Like, that was like a $500 guitar because nobody wanted those things back then, Like, so I got my black and green one. The first one I had was like $500. Like,
wow.
Like, it's crazy how that's a $3,000 guitar now too. You know, like it's just weird how that shit has escalated. They're finally cool. Seven
Yeah.
strings are finally cool again. You know.
I've been trying to look more into because all of like the classic, everyone's privy to like the older Japanese, like affordable Japanese made.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to find newer, like new Japanese made stuff that's not too overpriced. I mean, there's some legit brands out there for sure. People just need to kind of hunt it down and quit price gouging on Reverb.
That's the problem. Like, dude, like sometimes I'll search Reverb. I'm like, I want to find it. I want to get another guitar. I want to get another Ibanez. Like, damn, there's just no such thing as a cheap Ibanez anymore, man. Like, that's the reason I started playing because they were so cheap. I was like, man, you go like find an RG for $300 in a pawn shop left and right. They were just like giving them away because they're so cheap. And nowadays, that's like, you know, it's not, you don't see them cheap anymore like that, you know.
No.
But I'm glad I got like 11 Ibanez's now, I think. So like, I've been buying them forever, man. Like I was ahead of the curve on the cheap Ibanez thing back in the day. Like if I saw Ibanez for $200, I just buy it. I'm like, fuck it, gonna buy it, you know. And so I just kept them, you know. I've sold a lot. I used to have some other crazy ones. I've sold them over the years, but
the Ibanez fan base is a unique one. Like there are so many. I feel like almost more than any other brand. But the people that are like diehard Ibanez fans, it's like they'll have a whole collection of nothing but almost.
Yeah. I mean, they're good. They're like good guitars, man. Like they're built to last. I mean, like it's like Japanese precision built instrument, man. Like the fretwork's perfect. Like they're good guitars. They could take a fucking beating. Like I take them on tour, and I have no doubts they're gonna fucking survive.
I mean, hell, I got two RGs, and they're just like early 2000s, like right when they switched to Indonesia or whatever. And even though like, you know, did pick up swaps and setups on them, but I mean, they're great. Man,
the guitar I use for Intent Warfare is the cheapest made Ibanez. My buddy, my best friend, he played with Dillinger Escape Plan for quite a few years as like a touring guitar player. And so he was endorsed by Ibanez, and they used to smash their guitars and shit. I was like, so Ibanez was getting them boxes of cheap guitars to like smash. He was like, here, take one, have one, like, you know, as a gift. And it's like a $200 Ibanez. Dude, I did every tour on that guitar. I did most recordings on that guitar. And I had like nicer Ibanez's at home. But I was like, well, fuck, this one gets fucked up. Who cares, you know? But it's like that just proves like even the shitty Korean ones are fucking, you know, tough, man. Like that guitar went Japan, Australia, Europe. I mean, it went everywhere. All the U.S. Never had any fucking problems with it.
That made me curious. I don't know exactly where this one's made. Yeah, Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
I think most of them are now. I think the Japanese stuff in them is like super high dollar, like like the Prestige and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. The I want to say it was like 03 or 04 when they finally like their lower end production models, like they finally switched them over from the FGN factory to their Indonesian one or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that. Which we covered the pedal board thing, so I guess.
Yeah.
What kind of cab are you using?
I have a couple of those old school Mesa rectifiers, like the big Mesa rectifiers. They call them oversized cabinets.
Yeah.
Like, and mine have like the stupid ass diamond plate on, like the chrome sides. They're from the 90s. I mean, dude, I saw Cannibal Corpse last night, and I forgot that they use those. It looks cool. I mean, I think they're kind of silly, but also I think they look kind of cool, and they're kind of like weird. Nobody really has them, so I wear them with pride. But they're heavy, dude. Those things weigh like 150 pounds a piece.
Those and those the old Mesa Road Ready cabs that look like 4K.
Yeah.
I'd love to have either one of those because they're indestructible, like you know.
Yeah, man. But moving those motherfuckers, man, they're so heavy. You gotta have like a friend, or at least I got. I'm not ripped or nothing, but yeah, man, loading those. I had an old school road case Mesa cab, like the from the '80s, and it sounded amazing, man. But it was just so heavy to move.
Yeah,
I felt it was like destroying my truck, loading the back of my truck. I felt it was like breaking shit. It's like a weapon, you know.
I mean, sounded good though, right? I mean,
yeah, it sounded amazing. I saw my friend Ben has it now, and I cursed him. I'm like, "This is your problem." Like he plays it like I was like you have to drag it around after you're fucking. It looks cool as shit though, man. It's like with the road case front and shit.
Does
Cool.
did that one at least have casters? I've seen some that
Yeah,
don't have casters.
I put casters on it.
Okay.
I drilled into it and put like badass big Mesa casters on it, so it doesn't look period correct, but yeah, dude, yeah, it needed it. There's, you know, you couldn't carry that motherfucker.
What would the idea be like not having casters? I guess they would think that maybe only touring guys that could put them in giant road cases.
I mean, I think they were truly made for like touring musicians. So it's probably like, well, you probably have a crew, you know, like have like a couple dudes moving your shit. So like, I'm sure they had, like wheels were not a thing, you know, like fuck it, let some dude schlep that shit.
Not for some guy carrying up a flight of stairs into a venue.
Fuck no, dude, absolutely not. Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, hell yeah. Let me see here. Well, kind of running out of questions, to be honest.
Oh shit.
When is when does the EP come out, did you say?
The split, like we're gonna record in 2 weeks, and then you know, vinyl's taking forever now, so it probably won't be here till the end of the year, you know.
God, yeah.
But a label called Rotted Life Records in Misako Unoho in Europe is doing the vinyl and CD of it. We also, our demo's getting reissued on Dark Descent in Misako Unoho, so that should be coming out pretty soon too. But man, just wait for vinyl, dude. It should take like 8 months now to get a fucking record out, you know? Sucks.
Oh yeah. I ordered that new Church Burn
record,
which I think the vinyls are originally supposed to come out in November.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got it last month.
Yeah, that's the way it is, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, at this point, I think the CD and even CDs are getting kind of like everything's all fucked up right now. Getting tapes, everything's all delayed now. So
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. My oldest son, his favorite band is Rammstein. And
okay.
I pre-ordered the new Rammstein, like a special edition CD or whatever for him. I'm it's supposed to come like the week after his birthday, so I'm kind of hoping it actually not months down the road or something.
Well, you know, I think like they're like a humongous band on like I'm sure like they like in the pressing plants, like those kind of things get priority over guys like us who like see a small shit. They like so I bet that'll come on time. It seems likely. Yeah.
Is there anybody that you kind of have on your wish list of like bands you want to go out on tour with, or like is there anybody like, God, I'd love to open up for them so I could go see them every night?
Yeah, I mean, there's bands I would like to tour that are like friends of ours. Like I like a band called Exaggerate. I'm real into those guys. I'd love to tour with them just because I like their music. I'm trying to think like what band. Immolation, like because I'm a huge Immolation fan. Like I'd like to. My friends in Mortiferum on tour with them right now. Or I guess their tour's just wrapping up. I'm like, man, you guys are so fucking lucky, dude. Like you can see fucking Immolation every fucking night. It's the shit, and they rule. And like, so that would be cool. But man, like the band Exaggerate, they're awesome. They're kind of our bros. I'd like to fucking play with them and see them every night because their record kicks ass. You know.
Hell yeah.
I'm into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well. Got to burn through these a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Well, this next one, really my last one I got on here is, what is your top 4 death metal bands and or records?
Of all time, I guess. Like, I kind of like Suffocation, Pierce Within, 100% would be like in the top. Carcass, Symphonies of Sickness. What else? What would be another one? Immolation Failures. Man, Immolation Failures for God, that's a huge one for me too, growing up. And then, I do think of like one oddball, just so it's not like all. Damn it. I want to put something, I'm doing like, yeah. Fuck, man. I'm just going to say something common because that's like the shit I listen to, but like, probably Morbid Angel, but probably Blessed Are the Sick or Covenant, because those were the two when I was a kid I listened to the most.
Hell yeah.
Even though Gateways is such a big influence on this band, for me personally, Blessed and Covenant. That's why I heard 7-string guitars for the first time was those records, you know?
Oh yeah.
That's what influenced me to play 7 strings was those guys. Like, him and Rutan on those records.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, what is this? I remember watching that video for Where the Slime Lives, and they're playing the 7-string. Like, what the fuck? Like, why is that guitar so big? I was like, oh, it's a 7-string, and that just set the tone for me from then on. I was like, I kind of feel weird because you play 7-string, people think you do like fucking chord and shit. That's not the case. It just kind of happened like that. Those bands like caught onto that, but it was always like Morbid Angel, and there was a band in Houston called Crucifixion that was like an old school death doom band from the 90s, and they both used universes. And that was, as a kid, I would see them play and be like, oh, those guitars are fucking badass. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that was like the first conversation we ever had when you originally submitted your universes for the page.
Yeah.
I think we kind of got onto that whole, you know, it's for Morbid Angel, not for Korn.
Yeah, man. Like, some people, I know people like definitely kid me about like, oh, you play 7 strings, like, to make it funny, like motherfucker, I do this shit for Morbid Angel, man. I don't give a shit about fucking nu metal. Like, I grew up listening to fucking death metal, you know. Like, you know, so you know, but it is kind of funny because people associate that shit so heavily with Korn. You know, it's like that's what they. It was such a big deal for that band, not for me.
No, I used to play in a thrash band there for a few years, and my singer was a little bit older than I was, and I was talking about how, you know, I didn't own a 7-string yet. I wanted one, and I was talking about, you know, that was gonna be my next thing I got. And, you know, people always teach me like, oh yeah, so you can do all those sweet Korn covers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. Like,
yeah, people like to fuck with you about it, but you know, look, I stand by it, man, because like everybody does the BC Rich thing. Well, for us, like we're doing, you know, we're a 7-string. That's like it's something different. I think there's other bands. There's actually some really killer bands I know that also like Exaggerate, things like they use 7 strings like we do, and that's for the same reasons, you know. So.
It's kind of funny we're talking 7 strings now. I saw Wes Howe kind of pop up into the chat there, talking about somebody utilizing 7s.
Oh, does he? If I can shred on it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Alluvial and well, he was in the Faceless for a little while there.
Okay.
He didn't use 7s for that, but I just love it because it kind of takes out some of the theory guesswork whenever you're trying to do leads.
Yeah,
you know
it's always, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like just playing a 6-string with that extra low string, you know. Sure. I like the guy. I think what the original plan was, right, that like it was gonna have an extra high string. It was like the 7-string was gonna not be a low string. It was gonna be a higher string. At least in jazz, that's what they're using it for. I just can't imagine what the tension on that high string would be like. You know, what was that, 8, 7? You know, like. But in jazz, that's what they were doing it for. But being right for positioning and shit, like you get the extra string, you can stay in one position. It's easier, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I do remember watching an interview with Steve Vai when they were trying to come up with the concept for the 7. I swear I thought it was him talking about wanting to do an extra high string.
Yeah, probably.
And then somehow came to the conclusion of the low B instead.
It's so funny. He's like the guy who really kind of made the Ibanez universe. It's like, man, I don't listen to Steve Vai at all. Like, I don't listen to shit like that. Yeah. So I think I heard the one song he plays, and I'm like, damn, that's all like he did with this thing. And he did this one little low riff. It's like, what a waste of. But I'm glad it happened because like, look, I'm a universe fanatic, man. Like, I'm glad he fucking did what he did. But so what a weird guitar for that dude to come out with. I don't think he utilized it the way that we are all doing. And like, it went on to be with, you know? So. It was made for death. It was made for death metal, damn it. That's what the thing was designed for, I think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The one cool thing. Well, I mean, I love Steve Vai, but I was gonna say one really cool thing about him that I feel like is kind of universally true for the rest of the guitar world is he keeps guitar fun. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys that's always trying really outlandish shit. Just
sure. Yeah.
Like that Hydra guitar that he just put out. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't. Mm-hmm.
Look, you need to look up Steve Vai Hydra whenever we get off here. I'll send a picture to you.
Okay, yeah, I want to see it.
It's like three necks.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then like some harp strings and a bass.
He's a shredder, man. I never got into shred music. Our drummer is really into Steve Vai. Like, our drummer is actually a great guitar player. He had a universe for a long time. He's real into vibe. I just, you know, something about shred music. I just never like. I like riff. I just like riffs, you know. So I never really learned how to solo or focus on that shit too much. But
yeah.
So yeah. Not my game.
See, I love the 7-string because it covers the two things I love. I love the super low end, big chuggy riffs and all that stuff. But then I also like to jump up here and do the little whittlies.
Yeah, I heard you shredded earlier. Like, yeah, you can shred, man. It's like in the hands of somebody like you, it actually gets utilized probably fully. Where for me, I'm just a dude on the low end fucking riffing, but. I guess I could just use a 6-string tune now, but there's something about those 7-string necks I like so much. So
yeah, and like we were mentioned earlier, like the intonation and everything, like it's like I like tuned down 6 strings, but that versus a 7-string, it puts you in a completely different mindset.
It does.
It feels like two just totally different instruments. Inspires you differently, I think.
When we started the band, I actually played my old Ibanez RG750. It's a 6-string. I just tuned it down to G sharp, and I was writing riffs, but I was like, I'm gonna pull the 7-string out and give that a shot. And I was like, yeah, it completely changed where I was coming from with the riffs. I was like, I'm sick with the 7-string for this band, like, in Insect Warfare, I only use 6 strings just because it's grindcore. You need to be a little more swift. But in this band, I was like, okay, I can like utilize this fucking big ass neck and play slower and write some sicker riffs on it,
Yeah.
So I dug the whole 7-string out for that and started using it for this band.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the only grindcore band I've ever seen use 7 that I can think of was Pig Destroyer.
Yeah, Scott uses those. Yeah, but he shreds too, though, man. Like he actually plays the whole neck, But they're like, to me, they're grind. They bring out so many outside influences from other genres. Like I could see like him utilizing the 7-string correctly,
Yeah. True. They are a bit of an exception to grind and all the tropes, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I like that record Prowler in the Yard kicks ass. Like that came out. I bought that when it came out. I was like, damn, this is a very well written record. That and their split. The Pinch kicks ass, man. That first record LP Prowler in the Yard kicks ass. Like on Relapse, that one's really fucking good.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can really fuck with that record. You know what I mean? Like
it's riff, dude. It's like riff after fucking riff, man. Like to me, to this day, I'm like, damn, I could write some sick riffs on like some of this shit. Like some of it sounds like Slayer, some of it sounds like fucking death metal. Like it just goes all over the place with it,
And it's weird. They're one of those bands. I mean, it's cool, and I like everything they put out. They're one of those bands that like constantly is trying to change and like trying to progress. So. Yeah. They've never really done anything else quite like Prowler in the Yard, and
you're right.
As cool as it is that they change it up. It's like I don't know. You kind of want another Prowler in the Yard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but I respect it. Like I don't like. I respect people who like always try to push themselves to do something different every release.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just cookie cutter and records and shit. So like I respect that, but you're right. Sometimes that's when you're Prowler in the Yard. I want more of those riffs, but what can you do?
Right. Or at least that nonstop, in your face kind of vibe. Anyway.
Yeah, that's an intense record, man. It sounds like all the songs. As soon as they stop, the next one starts right after. It's just like the flow is killer on that record. Yeah, I was very influenced by that record when it came out. Like just because I was like, man, this dude's. I mean, the riffs like catchy, like very well written, not just boring grind riffs,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think they said in an interview one time, tried to take a philosophy from Brutal Truth where you just wrote the catchiest songs possible and then just sped them way the hell up.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Brutal Truth is like, man, those Brutal Truth records are awesome. Like Extreme Conditions is like one of my favorites without a doubt of all time. There's another favorite record, Extreme Conditions, but I also enjoy their Sounds of the Animal Kingdom. Like that kind of experimental and Need Control. They started doing some weird shit. I like that stuff too. So I like the straight up grind stuff. I like their weird experimental grind stuff. Like, which I know a lot of people hate it when it came out. Because I remember that record came out. Like all my friends who like Brutal Truth was like, "Fuck this record." And I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking good." Yeah, like I like this, But pure grind people hated it. It seemed like at the time.
I could see it, I guess, but like people. People just take stuff. They make music very personal.
Yeah, Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I just want to go down like a musical rabbit hole of all of Danny Lilker's projects.
Yeah.
Like
he
literally
rules.
everything that guy touches rules.
Yeah, 'cause he's the real. I think because he's the real deal, man. Like he's an Anthrax. That's like crazy. But then he went from Anthrax to doing extreme underground bands, and
Yeah.
and not and doing it like for real, didn't pull no punches. I'm a huge fan of him too. His bass tone. I met him when I was a kid when Brutal Truth played Houston. I guess it was like '98, maybe. I can't remember. But I went to the show. And I went up to him. I was like, man, what? Just like asked him about his tone. He was like real cool. He like talked about it, like showed me. He's playing that Warlock bass and shit.
Oh,
So it was cool, man. I'm a fan of him.
I was even listening to SOD yesterday.
That's Riff Central. I mean, I know it's like I don't know who all wrote all those riffs, man. That's like I prefer that to Anthrax. Like I'd rather listen to them.
Me too.
To me, it's like this is what Anthrax in my head should have sounded like all along. Like way heavier, way more aggressive. Anthrax. I was never a huge Anthrax fan. I like some of their albums, but it just for me it was an SOD. I was like, oh fuck yeah. Questionable song content. I know like nowadays like. I know people are like, even as a kid, like, this is kind of weird, some of the stuff they're talking about. I'm not really feeling this, but damn, the riffs are undeniable, So I kind of give them a pass on that.
I can't help but feel like it was mainly just to be sarcastic or
or
at the very least, trying to be, like poking a hornet's nest, just, just.
To me, it was like Carnivore with Pete Steele. So they were kind of like, it's being kind of confrontational, so I get it, and I know those guys don't mean that shit, but at the time I was like, I don't really, as a kid, I was like, man, is this racist? Is this what was I don't know, but I like the fucking riffs,
I guess if you were looking at all that, and then you see Scott Ian with the shaved head and everything,
definitely has an element to it,
right? But God, he is such a. Scott Ian is such a riff lord too and like the most percussive right hand you can think of almost, and
he's done cool, and his tone's really good. Like I thought, I will say about the end, like even my huge like their tone is killer. They sound thick, like all their palm muting and shit sounds thick as fuck, more so than other bands, I think,
Definitely. Somebody asked, by the way, if any new church had discussed.
Yeah, I'm not in church. Our other guitar players in church, but they have a new record coming out in April on Hell's Headbangers. Fucking kicks ass, dude. It's seriously. I've heard the whole thing. It whoops major ass, and like it's not gonna disappoint anybody as a fan of the band because it sounds like them, but it's on a different level. It's fucking awesome, man. Like they have a single out right now that's on YouTube. And the last minute to me is like some of the best riffs I've heard in a long time. Like it's like this slow, heavy outro thing. I'm like, damn, dude, this is fucking sick. So I think anybody who's like watching this and like should in April, Hell's Headbangers, man, it's gonna be fucking sick, man. It's gonna be a good fucking record.
Nice. Well, man, we'll go ahead and try to start wrapping this up. Is there anything you want to plug or anything real quick?
No, I guess it's like we got another record coming out. Probably end of this year, the split. It's going to be with a band called Gosudar from Russia. So it'll be pretty fucking cool.
When are you guys hitting the road next? Do you know yet? Or
we're not going to really hit the road so much. We're playing MDF coming up in May. Then we're playing Total Death over Mexico. And then we're currently working on Europe for 2023. Like we have to, for us, because we're older dudes and our jobs, it's hard to get time off.
Sure.
We have to plan shit like that way ahead.
Yeah.
And so we're probably gonna David from Undergang's gonna help us out with some shit over there. So we'll probably be in Europe in 2023. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I can't wait to be over there again.
Killer. I know we got a fair share of European followers. So any of you guys, you can look forward to that.
Yeah.
Or anybody going to Maryland Death Fest.
Yeah, come see us.
Well, cool. Dude, I appreciate you taking the time. This was awesome.
Hey, I appreciate it. Like, I don't really like. The only thing I like to talk about is gear, so it's cool to like talk about that and like not this boring band questions all the time. Like when did you start and like that kind of like. I really talk about guitars and shit. So yeah, cool. Thanks. I'm glad there's a death metal centered gear page.
It definitely was to try to meet a need of something that I wanted to see that wasn't out there.
Yeah, well,
Briggs of Doom was hogging all the glory.
Dude, I actually I look forward to your post because like to me it's like I like seeing other people's shit. Like there's like some guys I'm like, damn, these got some sick ass shit. So it's cool, man. I dig it.
Yeah. And I know you guys have legit been putting out. I think I put your all's newest album on like my top 10.
Oh shit, thank you, man.
Yeah, I mean it's fucking riffs, man. Like for sure.
I appreciate it, man. Dude, I'm so happy about how the record came out. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. People like it.
Absolutely. And anybody hasn't checked it out yet, or Malignant Altar in general, which would be weird if you watched up to this point and you.
Yeah.
But regardless, everybody check them out. Whenever if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll try to put all links below. And,
Sick.
Thank you, Beau, so much for joining us, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, dude. And I'll send you the implication link so you can check it out.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks,
Cool,
y'all. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks. Peace
Cheers,
out.
man.